so this is 5 reasons why I love Stamford, Connecticut. If you are relocating and you're ready to move here, Stamford is a pretty big place and there's so many different neighborhoods, but I'm gonna tell you just about Stamford in general, why it is a great place to pick. My name is Kadesha Thomas. I'm with eXp Realty. If this is your first time at my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos or any vlogging tours coming up. I have moved from New York City myself. I actually know what it's like. It can be kind of a culture shock. So I'm just going to be listing out 5 reasons why my relocating clients love Stamford and why I personally love Stamford, just so you can be in the know. One thing that I love about Stamford as a former New Yorker, and all New Yorkers will tell you they are New Yorkers. I don't know why we do that, but we all do it. We will identify ourselves immediately, even though we've chosen to move here. One of the reasons why I love it is there's an actual nightlife. I am a social person. I don't know if you know this, but I like to go out. I like to go out. I like to hear music. I like to go to different areas. I like independent restaurants. I like that little cafe, the little bar, the sports bar. I mean, you can actually go out and do things. So there's not really like clubs so much. It's more of like restaurants in the daytime, and at night it kind of turns into a club. They move all the tables out the way. They have DJs come in. They have their house DJs. They have rotating DJs. There's actual nightlife. And even if I'm not in Stamford, I will drive down from other parts of Connecticut to go out in Stamford. It's just my preferred town to go out in. Out of all of the towns and cities here, it doesn't matter how far it is. If I'm saying I'm going out, I'm most likely going to be in Stamford, Connecticut. So Stamford is great because you're going to have waterfront dining. You're going to have just different places. Like you will always see me at Sign of the Well. You'll always see me at Hudson Social. All these different activities. Not to mention, besides the nightlife, there's just different activities. I mean, I'm a Christmas baby. I was born on December 25th. And one of the highlights of my year is to go to SantaCon in Stamford. Very different than the SantaCons in other cities. Not like this whole mess, but it's more of like the happiest place in Connecticut on that day. Everyone's just happy. They all have their little costumes and outfits on. Everyone's just, it's like Disneyland, but like Santa Disneyland, for lack of a better word. And it's just a really cute experience. So when it comes to Stamford, you also have summer at Stamford. Like they have the Live at 5 on Thursday nights. They have a lot of running races. There's just all these different things. I mean, I got to watch Pauly D perform in Stamford and it was like super affordable and it turned into this great thing. They always have something going on. If you look at best places to live in America, niche.com actually has Stamford as number 19 for top cities for outdoor activities. Why a lot of people love Stamford, and I love it myself, is the commute to New York City. Stamford is so easily accessible. Regardless of where you are in Stamford, you can drive to the Stamford train station. There's 3 train stations in Stamford, but the main train station in Stamford is usually about a 10 to 15 minute drive for almost anybody. So less than 15 minutes. You can park at that train station, Uber there, have someone drop you off, jump on the Metro North, and it is a quick 45-minute express train ride. And the Metro North, the red line, runs pretty late. So whether you're working or you want to run into the city for a quick nosh, it is super easy to go back and forth to New York. When I am further up and living higher up in the state, you will find that I will drive down either on the Merritt or on 95. I'll just drive right on down, park my car in Stamford, and just jump on the train. That way I avoid all the traffic. I don't have to deal with any of that. I don't have to worry about New York City parking. Even though I learned how to drive in New York, and I know how to drive in New York, and I know where I like to park, where I can keep my keys, it's just so much easier for me whenever I have to go to the city to just park my car in Stamford and go. Another great thing about Stamford is it has a walkable downtown area. There are condos and townhouses, and so you have the walkable downtown and you have Harbor Point. So you have those 2 areas there, Harbor Point and a walkable downtown, where you can just pretty much, you don't even need a car. You can park your car, leave it in the garage, and you can just go. Whether you're working or whether you're shopping, you just have that walkable downtown area with all those activities. And a lot of cities and towns in Connecticut do not have a walkable downtown area. So it's a huge plus. Like, we're just so used to it if you're moving here from a city. we're used to moving from, a lot of us could be used to a walkable downtown area, but a lot of places in Connecticut don't have a walkable downtown area. So it is a huge plus that Stamford actually has one. So if you're going to be in the Harbor Point area, or if you're going to be in a downtown area, there's homes, houses, apartments, there's all these things there, but you can kind of get around and you don't need to have your car. A lot of times, like, people will come to Stamford and they'll park their car, or if they live in Stamford, they'll park their car and they'll just Uber around, or just Uber to one spot and walk around, because you do have that option. It's actually faster and easier to walk around downtown Stamford than to drive, because there could be like a lot of traffic and the lights don't always run in succession, so you're going to stop every 5 seconds anyway. Okay, so we've covered the nightlife and all the activities, and we've covered summer in Stamford with the beaches and the concerts and all of these great events. We've covered the commute. We've covered walkable downtown. So what is the reason a lot of people move here? Because yes, Stamford is 12% higher, the cost of living, than other Connecticut cities. But one of the reasons why everybody likes it here is because there's all types of homes available, and you can have your apartment style condos, and there's plenty of complexes for that. And then there's townhouses, and there's plenty unit development, and we do have some new construction. We do have dense suburban where the homes are on top of each other. We have sparse suburban, like in the Newfield area, or North Stamford area, where you're gonna have all that space between you and your neighbors. And isn't that great? That's what a city is supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be all about options and energy, and you get in to pick what makes sense for you. So if you've already decided, yes, I'm gonna relocate to Stamford, you can feel free to reach out to me. I've actually done it. I've relocated. A lot of agents will say, yes, I grew up here, and that's cool, but they don't know what it's actually like to have to go from one place to another. They don't understand the culture shock. I still am translating certain phrases and words. I call a certain kind of store bodega, and they call it something else. They don't say liquor store, they say package store. It's very strange, but like, okay, but it is a culture shock for some people. One of the things that you'll notice that people do in Connecticut is they'll be like, where do you live? Like, everyone asks you where you live. It's a thing they do here. All right, so those are all the things that I like about Stamford, Connecticut. And if you're ready to relocate, make sure you keep an eye out for my 5 steps to relocating to Stamford to make it so much easier for you. You can feel free to text, email, call. If those things didn't work for you and you're like, I don't think Stamford's the place, if you're looking anywhere else in Fairfield County, make sure you reach out to me. My name is Kadesha Thomas. I'm with XP Realty.